they did when the person was alive. Because the gods Imseti, Hapi, Quebecsinoip, and Duamutep were there as gods to perform their godly powers and make sure each of these organs did for the body what it did when the person was alive. So they used their divine powers to make that happen, and you didn't need to put the organs back in the body. Grave robbers started stealing the caskets to reuse them. So about 3,000 years ago, they started putting the organs back in the body, kept the canopic jars, but they started putting the organs back in the body so that the soul could recognize the body. Because every morning the soul is said to leave the body, go out and wander around the world and come back at night. If the body is not complete, missing one or the other, the soul could not recognize the body, would not be able to come back and find it and enter it again at night. So they put the organs back in the body, and in our two mummies over here, one was mummified 2,400 years, the other one 2,900 years ago. All of their organs are back inside their bodies, so technically speaking, with this process over here, they would cut them open with a knife over here, remove 4 organs for the body, which were very, they tend to decay very rapidly. So they would soak them in salts, which dried them out, and wrap them in cloth over here to be able to preserve these organs. They would also take the brain out because they didn't think the brain did anything. So they pull it out of the head and throw it in the trash for trash pickup on Tuesday. Then they would take the heart, which they knew was also very soft, and they would surround it with a lot of salts to dry it out in order to preserve it. And the only other organ that decayed very rapidly was the eyeballs, and they replaced eyes with little tiny round balls made out of ceramics. And then the body, they would soak it in the salts for about 40 days, and this dried out the body, and then they would soak the cloth in antibacterial material, different process than they used on the body, to basically preserve the cloth as well too. So that when they soaked the body in this, they preserved it because they killed the microbes which caused the body to decompose, and the antibacterial stuff they used on this killed the microbes in here that caused them to decompose, because this is organic material as well. So they managed to wrap the bodies. They would include amulets beneath it. This is my favorite amulet because this one heals all conditions. If you have a sore, an illness, a condition, a wound, a cut, whatever, place this over it and it would be healed when you come back to life. Because when you come back to life, you're coming back in that same very good life. Their heart, this is the heart of the deceased, would be weighed up against a feather of life. And in this case, the heart is lighter weight, so they pass the test and they could be mummified. If the heart was a heart of somebody who'd done many bad deeds, it would sink down, the feather would rise up, and that person could not be mummified. To ensure that there was no body to send on to the next life, they technically fed the body to the god Amet, who devoured it. He was known as the devourer, leaving behind bones and teeth, because like all animals, he doesn't like to eat bones and teeth. Think about this though. When they dug up dead bodies on the west bank of the Nile, those bodies dried in dry sands were still complete and whole because the microbes which caused the body to decompose were killed by the dryness. So you couldn't decompose a body, and that is exactly like the same process goes on right over here.
Wow.
So they had one side of the story from the